guys, it's Russell back with you with 9th Gen Accord. And today I'm going to be showing you how to do a tire rotation on your Honda at home. By doing this, you can save about $30 to $40 over what the dealer charges. The only time that you really wouldn't want to do this is if your tires need balancing, because all we're going to be able to do is just the rotation. Typically, about every second or third tire rotation, I'll go to a place like a tire shop or the dealer that has a spin balance machine so they can rebalance the tires with the wheel weights. But for a general tire rotation, I do it at home in the driveway. Now, by doing this every 5,000 miles, which is the interval that I use to rotate my tires, I typically get about 20% higher mileage on a set of tires than they're warranted for. So it makes good dollars and cents to just pay yourself with longer tire life. Now I'm going to show you how to do the tire rotation. I'm going to show you what to look for when you pull the tires off to make sure you don't have a problem. And I'm also going to be showing you what to look for on your brake system. And we're going to do a real quick inspection that you can do yourself and see if you have any pending problems. The car we're going to be working on today is a 2015 Honda Accord LX. It just turned over 5,000 miles, so it's time to do that tire rotation.
Now there's a lot of information that you can get in your owner's manual that came with your car. This is on page 530 of my owner's manual, and it explains the tire rotation. There are two different ways to do it. You can do it on tires without rotation marks, which is how we'll be doing it today. Or if you have directional tires, you would need to do it this way. A lot of places when you get your tires rotated will go ahead and do it this way right here, and this is the way that I generally do my tire rotations, but I'm going to do it just like the factory manual said. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the front tires and we're going to be moving them to the back, and then we're going to be taking the back tires and crossing them and moving them to the front. I'm going to show you how to do that and show you which tools you're going to need to do this job. Okay, the tools that I'm going to be using today, I'm going to use 2 floor jacks because I have them. You will need to use at least 1 floor jack. If you don't have one, I suggest you borrow one. If you're only going to use 1 floor jack, then you're going to need to use jack stands. What I'm going to do is use the heavier 3.5 ton to lift the front of the vehicle up, and then I'm going to use the older 2 ton to lift the back up, since the back of the car is lighter. I'm also going to be using a 19mm socket. Now, I don't normally use chrome sockets on impact wrenches because these can shatter. So if I cannot find my 19mm impact socket, so that's what I'm going to be using. If you don't have an impact socket, you can use your lug wrench that came with your vehicle. And I'm also going to be using the DeWalt 20-volt electric impact gun. If you don't have one of these, that's fine. You can use a breaker bar, or again, you can use the lug wrench that came with your vehicle. So I'm going to show you on the first step where we're going to place this jack to lift the front of the vehicle up. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, you may want to have a torque wrench handy, and also if your wheel has wheel locks, you want to make sure to have the wheel lock key in order to remove the locked lug nut on each wheel. Alright, so we're looking underneath the front of the vehicle, and if you'll see, at least on this model, right here, there's a tie-down hook and a pad. This is where I'm going to be jacking up the front of the vehicle. Okay, so you see that I've got the front of the vehicle jacked up. The wheels are just barely off the ground. That's as high as you need to go. And I can't stress this enough. Never, ever, 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 ever get underneath this car with only a jack holding it up. I don't care what kind of jack it is. If you're going to get under the car to do work, you will need to put jack stands, at least 2 of them, to make sure that the car does not fall. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go around to the back of the car and show you where to jack the back up. Okay, so here we are under the back of the car, and where I'm going to jack the car is going to be on the subframe, rear subframe, right there. You could alternatively use this tow hook strap tie down, but I would prefer not to do it on the body at all. I prefer to do it on the subframe because this piece of metal is a beam that goes across and is very strong, and it's got a nice flat place to put the jack. Okay, so there is our jack placed on the beam, and again, I'm going to tell you, do not ever get under the car, even with 2 floor jacks. You must use jack stands if you're going to get under the car and it's lifted off the ground. Okay, so if you are using an impact wrench, you can go ahead and remove the wheels with them off the ground. If you're doing it manually, you're using either a lug wrench or you're using a breaker bar, you need to loosen all 5 lug nuts. But it's off now. Okay, now we're just going to pull the wheel straight off. Now, while we have this off like this, what you're looking for those of you that aren't familiar with this is your brake rotor, this is your caliper, it's your brake line, and inside the caliper, I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but see if I can get the light right. Your brake pads are right. They touch the rotor in between the caliper and the rotor right in there. So what you're looking for is you're looking for any rough edges here, any deep grooves, which this has none. It's looking good. Just eye the caliper over. See if there's any leakage around where the line is. This is just a very basic quick check. If you do find something, then that's a signal that you're going to need to go ahead and get it over to the dealer and let them check it out. But this looks fine. And now what we're going to do is, let me pull this over here in the shade, is you want to take a just a general cursory look at your tires. Run your hand longitudinally and axially and see if everything feels smooth. Sometimes on the outside of the edge of the tires you'll get feather edging and you'll be able to feel it. It'll feel like it's rough. Make sure there's no nails, anything like that in here. This has got really good tread for only 5,000 miles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tire and I'm going to lay it back there, because this tire is going to end up going on the back, and then I'm going to go ahead and take that tire off, which is the passenger side back, and lay it up here where it's going to go on the driver's side front. Okay, so I've washed all of the backs of the wheels. That's certainly an option that you can do, or you don't have to do. But the next step is to reinstall all the wheels and tires in their new location. And it goes just like that. Now the easy way to do this, because it wants to fall, is to just put your foot at the very bottom of the tire and hand tighten all the lug nuts. Now, if you don't have a torque wrench, you know, it's not the end of the world. You just need to make sure that these lug nuts are on nice and tight. The torque for these is 80 foot-pounds. Now, I'm going to use this impact gun just to snug them up, but not put them on real tight. Not on there. I don't like this key. Okay, so I've got the tire on nice and snug, but I'm going to go around and do all the wheels like this. Then I'm going to let the car back down on the ground and torque each of these in a star pattern to 80 foot-pounds. The reason that I'm going to do it when I have the vehicle on the ground is because the tire is going to want to keep turning on me, and this will prevent that from happening. Okay, so I told you there was one more step. There's actually two. The first step is we need to adjust the tire air pressure. Now, this sticker right here is located in the driver's door, right below your then sticker, usually right in the transition here. And it says for this car, I'm supposed to have 33 PSI on the front and 32 on the rear. You can also get the information that you need in your owner's manual. All right, last step is insert the key, turn it where your display comes on. I'm going to hit the settings button. And I'm going to go to vehicle settings, select that, tire pressure monitoring system calibration, and I'm going to select that, and we want to calibrate. Now, alternatively, on certain models there is a button right here. See that little tire pressure light? Now if I hold it in for 2 seconds, it's flashing on the dash. At this point, what we would do is we would go and drive the car for about, I believe the Honda manual says up to 30 minutes it could take for it to calibrate. And the reason that we do this is because there are sensors inside of each tire that communicate with the car's computer to let it know if the pressure in the tire is within specs. So as you can see, I've got 5,006 miles on the car, and I'll be doing this again at the mile 10,000. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope it gave you the information you need to do your own tire rotation. And if it did, leave me a comment. If you'd like to see other videos, go ahead and send me a request on that, and I'll try to see what we can do for the rest of the community. Thanks.